earlier. We were talking about that congressional representative from Texas burning a Quran, doing a hateful act of burning a Quran as part of her, as part of a campaign strategy, part of a campaign ad. Well, a couple of weeks ago, one of my favorite Christian nationalists, a fellow by the name of Joel Webbin, was talking about mosques and temples and statues and things like that in the United States. And he said, in a Christian nation, in a nation that is run by Christian nationalists, that mosques and temples and those 90-foot statues, they got to go. Can't have that. Can't have that in the community. Can't have that in being seen. Can't have those places standing. You can be Muslim, sure, and you can be Hindu, and you can be Sikh, and you can be a pagan, and you can be this, that, and the other thing. You can be those other non-Christian religions, but you don't get a gathering place. You can't have a gathering place. You can't have a place where you can come together as a community outside of your homes and pray. Can't have a public place that some poor unsuspecting Christian may wander into willy-nilly and be tempted by your religion. Can't have it. Now, the thing about these kinds of statements for me is always, this is the beginning, right? This is a beginning statement. We're going to get rid of mosques and temples. Okay, I see what you're doing, but it's never where it ends, right? Whenever we draw lines, and you see the same thing here in Canada just recently, the Alberta government, the province here in Canada, the Alberta provincial government has decided that they're going to ban certain books. They're going to ban The Handmaid's Tale. They're going to ban The Great Gatsby. Who bans The Great Gatsby? They're going to ban The Great Gatsby. They're going to ban 1984, which is just, so on the nose. I can't even get over it. If they were saying they're going to ban Fahrenheit 5.4 or 451, that would be even weirder. But anyway, they're going to ban a whole bunch of books from schools to, protect our kids. It never ends there. Whenever you get into that place where you are preventing something, when you're banning something, when you are prohibiting something, it never ends there. It always expands. So today we're going to ban The Great Gatsby. Tomorrow we're going to ban For Whom the Bell Tolls. The day after that we're going to ban The Old Man and the Sea. The day after that we're going to ban Stephen King. The day after that we're going to we're going to ban the Left Behind series, or maybe that's going to be the only books left in the school libraries. But it never ends there. And so when a guy like Joel Webbin comes along and he says, hey, listen, we're going to get rid of mosques and temples. Oh, synagogues will be next, right? Synagogues will be next. And then we'll start measuring the depth of your Christianity. We'll start applying some sort of measurement and say, oh, well, yes, right now all Christian churches are okay, but in the future, it'll only be maybe churches that confess the creeds. That'll be okay. Everybody else they're gonna have to. You can still be Pentecostal, but you can't have a public place to worship. You can still be Roman Catholic, but we can't have that whole pontiff thing going on because you're being influenced by a foreign entity, even though he's American. And so you're going to have to go. You can still be that, but you can't have that public space. And we will start. Folks like Joel Webbin, people of that ilk, will begin coming up with very subjective ways of measuring your validity as a Christian denomination, Christian church. Well, you're progressive, so you got to go. You can still be Anglican, you can still be Episcopalian, but no public worship spaces, because wouldn't want a good Christian wandering in there by mistake and being overwhelmed with your crazy and wild ways of love and grace. Whenever you hear people start speaking like this, well, we're just going to It's not all books, just those books. Well, those books will become more and more and more numerous. Right? Those books, that list will grow and grow and grow and grow. It's not all places of worship, just those places of worship. Well, it'll always grow. That list of outlawed places of worship will grow and grow and grow until it only includes themselves. This is always the danger of making decisions like this. So, if we think back on that person who burned a Quran, it wouldn't stop there. It would move on to the next one. Oh, you read Bibles that aren't the King James Version? Well, this is what I think of the New Revised Standard Version. There's always another. There's always another. There's always another other that has to go. Sometimes, these things can feel like it's just common sense. And I would argue that's a really dangerous place to be. Because when something, it just feels like common sense, then we do it. And we don't realize just how cascading those consequences are. And we find ourselves in a place where we have drawn an ever closer circle instead of an ever expanding circle. And we find ourselves where we are excluding far more people and far more ideas, far more possibilities and philosophies and theologies and ideologies. We find ourselves excluding more of the world than we are including. It requires us to trust, right? To defeat this kind of mentality. And I suspect all of us are guilty of embracing this mentality to some extent over something. But it requires that we put trust, that we live with a certain level of trust. We trust in God and we trust in one another. Right? We trust in God and we trust in one another. And we teach our kids not only to trust, but we teach our kids to come to us. Come to us with their questions. Come to us with their conclusions. Come to us with their thoughts. Come to us with their problems and their difficulties. If they happen to read The Kite Runner in school, come to us with that and let's talk about it. If they happen to read The Great Gatsby, to be willing to say, I read The Great Gatsby. I liked it. I don't know how Nanaya doesn't like it, but Nanaya doesn't seem to like it as much as I do. I love The Great Gatsby. I can't even believe that they're getting rid. Anyhow, it's all a matter of building up those lines of communication. I'm not worried about my kids stumbling into some Hindu temple. As a matter of fact, if my kid went to a Hindu temple, I'd love to hear what they have to say about it. I'd love to hear what their experience was like. If they went into a mosque, I'd love to hear what they thought. I don't want to teach my kids to be afraid of something that is different to such an extent that we must ban it. No. I want to teach my kid to embrace the experiences that they have, because ultimately, I don't want my kid to grow up with the desire to take experiences away from others. Christian nationalism, Christian fundamentalism, as we are seeing it expressed, it's not simply about minimizing the impact that some groups can have on society, on our society. It absolutely will get to the place where we collectively have embraced an idea that only certain few, very, very few groups will actually have a voice in our society that everyone else will have to live with. It starts with a mosque. It starts with one book. It starts with some music. It starts with a movie. But it never, ever stops there. Amen.